How's it going, everybody? It's Patrick from Unsigned Pop Punk, and welcome to the Unsigned Pop Punk Podcast, a podcast about life in the music industry. Gibby's out. He's out playing a show. He down in Texas, so he ain't hanging out with us today. He's playing with some really awesome bands. He's playing with Good Terms and Youth Fountain. So kudos to him. He's super stoked for this.
I
Yeah.
just saw them on Saturday.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
for those that don't know, we got Hannah Duckworth on the show. And Hannah, tell me about the show. How was that show?
It was so fun. So I'm in Los Angeles right now, and funny story actually.
Hmm.
Um, Youth Fountain played 2 nights here. He played one night in Los Angeles and one night in Anaheim.
Hmm.
And the LA show was kind of added later on Friday. It was like a smaller kind of DIY setup that I've seen as a venue and I've had interest in. So um, I was like, oh, I want to go to that show because I just got to LA last Wednesday.
Okay.
And I've played a couple shows with Youth Fountain before. I played with him last year in Seattle, and then just a couple months ago in Seattle and Portland. Love him, love his partner, love his crew. Like, just I think they're great. So I reached out to them, and I was like, "Oh, I'm in LA. I want to come to the show on Friday." And they're like, "Cool, cool, cool." So it was at a place called Shred at the Shed, which again is this like more DIY venue.
It's a rad
And
name.
yeah, no, it's cool. And I've always thought like, oh, I want to check that out because maybe I'll play there one day or something. And getting ready to go to the show, since I didn't buy a ticket, I'm not like looking at the ticket link, right? I'm not thinking about it. Whatever I ask what time they play, cool, I'm gonna show up when a little bit before they go on, whatever. And I put it in Google Maps and it takes me to like 45 minutes north of LA, like north of North Hollywood, and about 45 minutes from where I'm at. And so on the Google Maps, it's like showing pictures of the venue, has their website, everything looks good, right? So I get in the car on my way, drive 45 minutes, pull into a neighborhood, and I'm thinking like, well, it is like a DIY venue. Cool. I pull up to the address, and as I'm pulling up to the address, I'm like, this is a dark street with really nice houses. Maybe I don't know, like I guess whatever. It's LA again, backyard stuff, whatever. So I'm like I'm like, this doesn't feel right. There's no cars on the street. I feel like there'd be more people here, but whatever. So I get to the address and I like park in front of this house and I roll the window down. I'm gaslighting myself. I'm like, I think I can hear drums in the distance. And then I'm like, but this just doesn't, this is like a house. There's no lights on. This is a subdivision, a literal subdivision.
Hmm.
I don't think there's actually drums playing. I don't hear anything. And so I messaged them. I messaged Youth Found's merch guy. And I'm like, is this in a house in a backyard? And he's like, no, we're in a warehouse in the arts district. And I was like, wait, what? And he's like, no, blah, blah. So I find out I'm at the total wrong place. Like, yeah, the Google Maps was like the right information, but they have the wrong address listed.
Oh
So
shit.
gives me the address, and it's literally back where I came from. Except now with traffic, it's going to take an hour and 10 minutes to get
Oh
there
no.
at 8 p.m. on a Friday. And I was like, or it was like 9 p.m. by this point. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so far away. Like, this is insane. And he's like, oh, like the show is actually going to end at 9:45 because there's a curfew. I was like, wow, I'll never make it. So turn around, go home, and luckily got to catch them the next night in Anaheim at Chain Reaction. Um, I saw the bands that were opening. They were all great. Good Terms was on that. A band I hadn't heard of, I think lo like a local LA band, Boy Hero, and then somebody else on that tour, Sad Park. I think
Okay.
Sad Park.
Sad Park Suite.
Yeah, they were great. Youth Fountain is great as always. I think Tyler is so talented. He's so good at what he does. Like he's popular for a reason. I don't know, the
Yeah.
room was lit. It was great. Chain Reaction was a cool venue. And yeah, it was a good show, but it was just like, oh my God, that first night, like that sinking feeling of just being in a neighborhood that I drove so far away and like
Yeah.
gaslighting myself to thinking I'm hearing drums. That's no. Yeah,
S-
it was funny.
So that makes me think of touring before like smartphones and GPSs and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Um, this stuff like this would happen to us all the time. So like when I was first touring, it was when MapQuest was like first a thing. So
Hmm.
um, and MapQuest, for anyone that remembers MapQuest, wasn't always the most accurate. And
Hmm.
so we would, when we were leaving for tour and stuff, we would print everything out, like print every show, like the whole big, we would have stacks of like MapQuest. And then we would have atlases. We would use atlases and maps to get
Hmm.
across country. Um, and so, there were some times where we would, same thing, we would follow the directions and it would lead us to some random neighborhood and be like, okay, now we have to fucking figure out how to actually get there and where this place is. And a lot of the times our vocalist would just be like, just let me drive. Just let me drive. I'll figure it out. I'll find it. And he would. He would just get behind the wheel and he'd just fucking find it. He would just drive around and find it. Like that dude had an impressive like nose for sniffing
Nice.
out venues.
Nice. Sounds fun.
It was a crazy time, but yeah, I know how you feel about just randomly pulling up and, thinking you're going to be at a venue and pulling up to a random neighborhood.
Right. Oh my God. I was like, well, it is DIY, I
Yeah.
think.
Fucking, eh, yeah, basement shows happen all the time. Maybe it's that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All American Rejects are doing basement or
Exactly.
backyard shows.
There we
Anything is
go.
possible, you know?
Those look so fun, by the
You
way.
you aren't crazy.
Exactly. Oh, no, never, never,
No,
never.
no, 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 no. Your thinking was very logical. I get it. Anything can happen now.
Well, it was completely like catfish by this Google Maps. Like all of the information was
Yeah.
right. Like even I found the address because I went to their website from that Google Map
Yeah.
thing. And then of course on the ticket link for the show, it's like, this is the address. It's like, oh
Yeah.
my God.
Nah, fuck it. It happens.
Yeah.
But, enough of Youth Fountain, good terms. As much as we like them, this show is about you. This episode, you just released your latest single, Knockout, which is a
Hmm.
fast, catchy, 2-minute punch to the gut.
Hmm.
How's the response been for the single for the 2 weeks it's been out so far?
I think good. I think like this is one single. So I've only put out a few singles ever, and I'm trying to find my rhythm. And thus far, I've had a pretty long time between releasing singles. And with Knockout, it was I had less time between Ghost, the song previous, and Knockout. So there was like
Right.
I think like 9 weeks there. And so for me, it felt very like all of a sudden I have this other song out and it's like here and now it's gone and like it's out and what do I do? Whereas usually I'm like taking like 6 months leading up to it to
Hmm.
think about, I don't know, some image and like portrayal and world. And with Knockout, it was just I wanted to start releasing songs more quickly.
Hmm.
And a few weeks before it, I was like, I need to make a music video. Um, Usually I'm like thinking about this stuff for a while, and while I usually get it all done last minute, I'm usually like thinking on it for a long time. I was like, but I'm brain dead with this one. I haven't been thinking about anything. I kind of just want to go and give it a whirl and like do something simple yet artistic and fun and just let the song speak for itself. And so I think I actually learned a lot in doing that. There's like its own power to just put a song out and like have it speak for itself with like more simple graphics and like
Yeah.
video and whatnot. And so I think it's been received well. Um Something that I've noticed that's interesting just about music in general is and like releasing music is when the genre is very specific people receive it better, which is like naturally makes sense, right? I think like when
Right.
things are like in marketing in general, when something's like easier to comprehend, it's easier to digest and take in. And Knockout is like you said, it's like a 2 minute punch the gut. It is rock, it is pop punk, it is like it is what it is, and there's no question about it. And it kind of to me is like a sister song to All Alone, which was my first kind of single out last year,
Hmm.
which is definitely like rock, pop punk. And then in between those two songs, I had two other songs that were like a mix of pop and pop punk more.
Yeah.
Um, so what I have found just in how it's received is like it's harder it's harder to like sell the idea of like a pop punk song, especially like as a female who's like just starting out, I think. But when you hit people with just like a straight up rock pop punk song, they're like, all right, I'm locked in.
Yeah.
I think that's nice. And it's definitely like a learning experience, like learning like how people respond to different types of songs and whatnot.
One of the things that, like, at least for me, this is how I felt about it. Because I listened to the song first and I was like, this is a good song. I like this song. But then I saw the video and honestly, like, I like the song more after watching the video. I feel like the video really sells the song even more. Like, it just helps like catapult it further. Um, and yeah, the video is it's pretty, basic and self-explanatory. It's a performance video, but it's so fun. Like, you guys
Uh,
like you guys are very entertaining to watch through the whole thing. It's very captivating in those 2 minutes. It's constantly like you're always watching something.
yeah. And that music video was so fun. And like I said, it was so much less like thought and pressure and production than the music videos that I've done before. And with that one, I honestly like a week before going to film it, so filmed it on a Wednesday in Portland. I had wanted to work with one of my drummers who's in Portland, Dominic. I wanted to work with him on this video because he like loves this song and he plays the part so well, and I knew that he would embody the energy of the song so well. And I also work with a bassist in Portland as well who works with Dominic in their own band. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to Portland, like find something really simple to do with them. Bring Dylan. Dylan's my guitar player and like, I don't know, man, basically is like my other half and creative director. And so when we were thinking about this video, we had a couple days. Um, and I was really inspired by Youngblood's most recent video for his single that's like 9 minutes long.
Okay.
Um, I forget like the name of it, but like Heaven and Hell and whatever the name of the song is. But it was like his most recent single, or at least at this time last month. Um, but he had done this like crazy out in the wilderness and snow-capped mountains with like a big white horse, blah, 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 like this whole production. But then it ended and kind of came down to just this simple black and white wall room, him being a rock star, his band. And it was kind of grainy and gritty. And I just loved how it looked. And I was like, okay, I want to do something black and white, like no color. Usually I'm very focused on color and very focused on
Hmm.
how is the black and the red going to come through, like how am I going to integrate color. With this, I was like, I just want to do simple. I don't even want to worry about color. I don't want to worry about anything. I just want to film this and get it done. And so I had this, I wanted to do the white wall, black and white. I was like, but I want it to be still have like a an artistic flair. There still needs to be something else. So I was talking to Dylan about what we could do differently. Um, and he said, oh, I saw someone recently dressed in like an all white sweatsuit and I really liked it. And I was like, okay. And he's like, what if we all wore all white sweatsuits? And I was like, that sounds simple. I'm sure you can get those on Amazon for like really cheap and then return them. Um, which is like my secret hack. It's probably a terrible secret because I don't know, I'll probably get in trouble for it someday. And I feel like everyone already does this anyway. But I buy so many things on Amazon for music videos and then return them.
Dude,
I keep the
so
budgets low.
working at Target, there are people that like sell houses and they buy a ton of shit at Target and to use as staging, and then they return it.
Uh,
Same thing. Yeah.
yeah, and I know that it's a pain in the ass and like I don't know, there's like some going to hell points for me with that. But I don't know. You got to do what you got to do. So I ordered like a bunch of white sweatsuits on Amazon in like all different sizes just in case. And I found a studio in Portland with this big white sick wall and it was beautiful and it was half the price of anything in Seattle. And I was like, "Oh my God, this is great." Okay. So then I just needed a videographer. So I hit up my friend Cam who I know who lives between Seattle and Portland. And I hit him up because he knows Dominic and Alika, who I work with in Portland in the band, and he is really good at taking concert photos. He's a concert photographer. And he does some behind the scenes videos sometimes and stuff, but I didn't know if he had any music video experience at all. And I just texted him and I was like, would you want to go to Portland on like a weekday within the next 5 days and shoot a music video? And
Yeah.
he was like, yeah, but I've never shot a music video. And I was like, oh, don't worry. I trust you. I know
It's
you're good at taking
easy.
photos. Like I'll direct you. Like it'll be fine. I'll tell you what I want to see and like you're around live music well enough that I feel like you'll know what to capture. And so we just all showed up. We had rented this place for 4 hours, which is not a lot of time at
No.
all,
Mm-mm.
and filmed that music video. As we're leaving, Cam dropped me all of the footage onto my hard drive. And then on the drive home, which is like 3 hours, I just uploaded it to my computer and started editing and picking out all the takes that I liked. And then got home late at night. So this was drove down there in the morning, did the video, drove home, woke up the next day, edited the video for like another 4 hours, and it was done. It was the easiest thing I've ever done in terms of videos. Like, and I love the video. And so I feel very glad that it represents the song well. Like I said, it doesn't take away from the song. I think it just adds, it lets the song like
Yeah.
shine. It was just so fun.
Yeah, I agree. It's an awesome video, and like I said, it's good. Speaking of awesome videos though, let's talk about Ghost. Like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
one is wicked. Like that's such a cool video.
Thanks.
Uh
Yeah.
tell me tell me how that all kind of came about. Like what's the Ghost story?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So this was a video that I had been thinking about for like 6 months, and I was putting off releasing this song because I wanted to have a video. And I kind of tend to overcomplicate things a lot. And um, when I started being serious about, or not even being serious, I had released like a few like DIY singles before last year, just in the few months in like the end of 2023. But then
Yeah.
with All Alone, I did my first music video. Um, and with that, there was something about doing the music video for that song. I found kind of my look and my feel and my vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because again, I've only been doing this since like the beginning of 2023. And so I didn't really have, I mean, I'm still very new at like kind of finding my brand and my footing and like my messaging and whatever. So at the point where I was doing All Alone last January, I didn't really have any of that like branding figured out. And through that video, I was kind of able to create this idea of myself and what I wanted to portray with like the red eye makeup and the dark intensity, but still being like light and fun and performative. And
Yeah.
so with that, I kind of got like hooked on making music videos and felt like I need to do one for every song kind of selfishly because
I love
I
that.
love them. Like I
Same.
love making them. I love conceptualizing them. I love all the stress. The only thing I don't love is like how expensive it can be because
Mm-hmm.
it costs money. Um but I love doing them. So with Ghost, I love that song and I was like I can't release this song without a music video. That would be insane, even though it's a totally normal thing to do. But I wasn't like finding the right location. I really wanted to do a haunted house video. And I couldn't find anywhere that looked good or that I could afford. Um, and so I just kept thinking about it. And another thing that I wanted to do was I really, really wanted to, at this time, like before I had made this music video, I really wanted to almost make like a short film. I was getting very into writing a script for this music video, writing characters, backstories, like lore. And I got really deep into a rabbit hole where I started to create like a whole production um, that was just gonna have needs beyond my budget or doing like, and by this point, I'm like, it's December, and I'm like, okay, I already wanted to release this song in November. It wasn't released. I got to release in January. I got to figure it out. So what do? I realized this, and then I continued down my path of creating like another short film. Like I literally went back to the drawing board for a couple of weeks, and then came back with like another short film. I was like, oh my God, this needs to stop. Um, so at like Christmas time, I set a deadline for myself that that song was going to be released like January 19th or whatever it was. Maybe it was 26th, it was whatever Friday at the end of January. And I was like, I have to abide by this. It means that I have to figure out a music video. Um, Mid-January comes. I don't think I have anything figured out, but I stumbled across this like random mansion in the middle of Seattle that I've probably driven by 100 times, never realized it was there. But it's like this historic landmark house from the 1920s that some, um, board or whatever keeps up and they rent it out for weddings and parties and events
Yeah.
or whatever. It's just like an event space, big, like empty house. And I found it online and I was like, this is so cool. Like, this place is like exactly what I imagined. And I reached out to them. Um, Asked if I could see it, went there, and of course the guy that runs it is like a hobby musician, so he was like all into it and like
Yeah.
excited, willing to like help out and whatever. Um, and I talked him to a price that I could afford. And it's one thing about music videos is like you can either do it super cheap or like if you rent anywhere, it's going to be just expensive. And with my other videos, I actually got really lucky, like All Alone, I didn't pay for the space. Caffeine, I did all outdoors in my neighborhood. Um, Knockout, really cheap studio in Portland. But with Ghost, I was like, I'm willing to spend a little bit more because this house is crazy
Yeah.
and I'm gonna do like a production. And so he was like, well, since we don't have anything booked this weekend and like we're not going to book it, I can give you a deal and here's what I can do. So I was like, oh God, that means that we literally have to film this in, I think I saw this on a Sunday and he was willing to give it to me on this next Sunday. And so I was like, okay, so I go home. I don't even sign the contract to book the venue until Tuesday. So now it's Tuesday and I have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So 4 days to figure out how I was going to make that video. And so I was working with videographer, Sarah, who I had worked with on the Caffeine music video before. And I was like, this, like, we don't own any lights or anything. And I was like, this is going to be like, have many more needs. So I reached out to a couple of other friends who had done the lighting for the All Alone video a year ago or a year before this. Um, and they were super into the idea. They wanted to bring more people, and then I realized I was going to need extras, so I started putting out the feelers for extras and then like production assistants. And over the 4 days, I had gathered like 25 people to work on this video, and I still had to figure out like what the video was going to entail. Um, I had ordered a bunch of white sheets on Amazon and a bunch of black sheets on Amazon and spent like so much time in my apartment with Dylan, like having putting his guitar on him and putting the white sheet over him and then the black sheet and like videoing it with my iPhone, being like, I don't know which one's gonna look better in the background. Eventually decided to go with the black sheets because I thought that they were like more really
Definitely more vibey, you know?
yeah, exactly. It was like white would be expected, black is kind of weird, so like let's do that. Um, and in this time too, I had also met a makeup artist, Gina, literally that week, and she wanted to come and do some cool, crazy makeup. And um, so that happened, and I had overnighted an outfit with the crosses all over it. And that was like a total like I don't know, Hail Mary. Like I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna wear. This always happens to me. I look in my closet, I I didn't plan anything. Like anytime I do a photo shoot, a video, I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I overnighted this cross outfit and I was like, oh God, I hope that it works.
It's
Like,
awesome.
yeah, no, and then I
It
got
looks
it,
so
I tried
good.
it on, and I was like, this is so cool. So as soon as I put that on, I was like, this is the video. Doesn't matter what else happens. This is sick. And so yeah, this was all from Wednesday to Saturday. Um, and then so I like wrote out a shot list. Like by then I was like, you know what? There's like no story. I don't have time to do a story here. All I can really do is go into this house. So also only rented it for 12 hours, which is zero time. Like to set up all of the lighting to get everyone there and organize and like many takes and then have people eat and give people breaks. Like 12 hours goes by so, so quick. So I was like,
Hmm.
what can I possibly do within 12 hours? Um, my main goal is to just have like really striking shots, really fun performance, and hope for the best. And basically, yeah, wrote out some things I want to do in different rooms, like the ghosts around me, looking into the camera, and then like the performance, and just got there and started going for it. And it was so cool to have like 20 people there working on this. So I had like people setting up lights, people taking down lights, people prepping the next room. Like we had like big monitors and stuff that um my friends and colleagues who were, working with me on this like brought so that we could like watch it while we were filming it, which made this huge difference. Like all these things I wouldn't have thought of. So it was a big lesson too on like when you add more people and people with like different expertise, you can like really like have a really cool product at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
It's
And I just hadn't done anything to that scale before. It was a lot, but it was cool.
it came out awesome. I like I said, I
Yeah.
like when I first watched it, I was like, damn. And like like we did a rea or I did the reaction video for that and it's like it was stunning. Like it's an awesome video.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm pumped about it. I love it.
Yeah. It's it's cool. Like I also like music videos a lot. And
Mhm.
so like you're saying like I want to have a video for every song. I support it. I love it.
Yeah, it's like so many people will be like, don't waste your money on that. Don't waste your money on, horizontal content when you could be making vertical content and um blah blah blah. And I don't know, for me it's truly not even about I mean, of course it's about marketing and getting the
Hmm.
song out there, but like I said before, music videos have been my avenue to sort of build my world around each song and um I really like that. It's a way to like extend the song into something else
Hmm.
from from an artistic and wooey standpoint, but it helps kind of guide me into where I want to go next and what my brand is. And I don't know. It's just like a fun thing. It's stressful fun.
I feel like vertical content is great, right? I know it is, it's the future, it is kind of everything that people are doing, but people also want that like music video. They want to see like people watch YouTube. It's not like TikTok is, bigger than YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube is still like I would say probably the king, you know. And people are, like in making you can make vertical content out of your video
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you know
It's a two for one.
and plus with your video if you're making vertical content out of your music video it's gonna look way better than just making your standard TikToks. People are gonna be like, "Oh shit, this is professional." Like this, I want to see more of this video. Where's this video?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that, because that's for me. If I see like, I'll sk I watch TikTok and most of my stuff is all band related because that's what I do, you know. But I skip past tons of it. But if I see like if like when your like stuff of like from that video would pop up and I like, oh shit, I want to see more of this. This is cool. Or like other bands that when they show have like their clips from their videos, I'm like, fuck, that looks cool. I'll leave TikTok to go see this. I'm not gonna leave. I don't care about like your like 100th performance video. Cool, I've seen it. I got it. I got it. I'm moving on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's it's definitely powerful to create something that draws people out of that instant gratification
Right.
mindset scroll kind of thing that we are in the apps, like to actually pull them out of that and grab their attention for
hmm
2 minutes or 3 minutes. It's a powerful, powerful thing.
Well, and as an artist, I mean, you probably know more than me, so correct me if I'm wrong, but as an artist, our goal is to pull them from TikTok. TikTok is just
Yeah,
is
exactly.
is just doom scrolling. You're never like I don't I don't know, man. You're never gonna get anything out of TikTok other than that doom scroll. If your goal is to get them to leave that.
Right.
So if you have an awesome video and you get them to leave TikTok, go to YouTube, watch that video, subscribe to you on there, that is going to be so much more valuable than getting another follower on TikTok because
Yeah.
TikTok is all about like you'll get followers. Yeah, that's cool, but no one watches like their like personal For You page. They just watch the main For You page to find that next
Right.
new.
Right. Oh my God. I don't even like on that note, I feel uncomfortable when I see people that I know on TikTok. Like I don't want to watch my friends on TikTok. I don't want them to watch me. I just want to watch the people I don't know. Just
Yeah,
keep scrolling.
but that's the thing. I don't know anybody. I do, but that's because I post so fucking much on there that it sends you directly to your personal For You page when you post something. And
Yeah, and
so,
I'm always like, out,
yeah,
out, get out
and
of
that's the
here.
thing. I was like, oh, these are all people I already follow. Why am I?
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, I'm in here again. Okay. And I
I know.
leave too.
I know. I'm like, oh God, I don't want to be in here.
Yeah, it's TikTok isn't for the how you grow your brand through TikTok is getting them to fucking leave TikTok.
Yeah,
You want them to go to your Spotify, your Instagram, your YouTube. You want them to leave TikTok. That's how you make a fan. Staying on TikTok is it doesn't really help a musician very much,
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
from what
Getting
I've
people
learned.
to Spotify. Okay, something that I realized recently, and I don't know if you have noticed this, but something I'm curious about. I read things a couple months ago about the release radar on Spotify changing. Um, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but speaking of like following people on Spotify, I feel like there's just no point anymore. You don't get like what like where does that even go? You used to kind of get a release radar based on the people that you follow,
hmm
but now it's not. And
It is.
so
Mine hasn't changed. I mean,
really,
like, yeah, mine is still the same because I, I follow so many artists. That's how I find like their new releases and stuff for like New Music Friday and stuff. That's how I get everybody.
yeah.
So like,
Oh, interesting.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Maybe I was reading something about this about how like
I hope it doesn't change.
I don't know if it's like slow rollout or something, but my release radar is now currently like nobody that I follow. It's just basically popular. It's like Lady Gaga and stuff. You know
Well,
what I mean? It's like people that would like be there.
that would be bullshit because I don't give a crap about that.
Yeah, and it's just to me, I was thinking about this yesterday and this morning about how there's all these things that as artists we are supposed to be striving for, like follows on Spotify and pre-saves, and
hmm
seems like I don't even understand the point anymore. Like when I pre-save music, I don't even get it. Like maybe it's somewhere in a hidden notification in Spotify, but it's not like popped up if I get an
So,
email with like 72 hours after it's released, I'm like, I already listened to it.
yeah.
You know what I
So
mean?
it's supposed to show up on your release radar, as far as I know. Like anything I've
Yeah.
ever like every artist I follow shows up in my release radar. Um, and I feel like that would defeat the purpose of even having a release radar if you're only going to promote like the bands that are and like musicians that are already popular. Like if
Mhm.
I don't follow Lady Gaga, let's say, just as an artist, like why are you going to show it to me? I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
It's like the release radar should be specific to the people you follow so that you get to see the new releases from the bands you care about.
Yeah.
So hopefully they don't change that because I think that would be the start of a downfall for Spotify when people are already leaving Spotify.
What are they leaving Spotify for?
Because it does, like, I mean,
Or I
people,
mean, like, what are they switching to?
it's that and Apple Music,
Apple Music? Yeah.
you know.
I don't know. Spotify just hasn't been like giving me what I need lately. Maybe I need to look at Apple.
Apple Music is a superior. Here's the thing, I use Spotify, but it's got a better like platform. The sound is significantly better than Spotify's. But
Oh.
Spotify's got that fun, the end
Yeah.
of the year wrap up. Apple doesn't really do that, and Apple also has enough. But uh, you know, I like Spotify. I don't love how they treat artists. I think the pay is disgusting. Um, but unfortunately, it's like, what do you do? I mean, you can, you know, not use it, but
Yeah.
but it's the biggest platform there is.
I know it's crazy.
So with your singles, we went through, all of them. So are you are you planning on releasing like an EP or an album or anything? Or are you just like focusing just on singles right now?
Yeah, I have another single to release in July, and naturally, as usual, I'm like very last minute with things. And this morning I was like, oh my God, I got to figure out the vibe and everything for that. And of course, I'm like, I want to do a music video. I love this song so much, but now I'm in LA and I don't know anyone. I mean, there's got to be 1,000 billion people here that make music videos. I just don't know them yet. So
Sure.
I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna do here? Am I gonna like just not do it? So I have to figure that out. But yeah, another song coming in July. Um, that song, I love it so much. It's very pop driven, but like with that edge. It's kind of in the same way that Ghost is a very like poppy
Yeah.
verse into like a harder chorus. Um, it's just upbeat and fun. And then I will be releasing an EP currently planned for the end of September.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited. It'll be good to get these songs out in a package. I think singles are cool. Um, but they're kind of to me like a means, not a means to an end. I wouldn't say it's a means to an end. It's like a means to the journey, like of
Yeah.
getting to that EP into that like package
Right.
and getting like little pieces of the package.
Hmm.
So I'm excited to have an actual kind of collection of songs out, and then to keep moving on. Because yeah, I
Yeah.
recorded these songs a year ago. They've been done for a year, and I've just been like figuring out again like that kind of rhythm and
Yeah.
plan and just making me doing it on my own time, but like I don't know. Originally, I wanted to rush it and have it all out by the end of last year, but I think there's pros and cons to both. Both like putting music out quickly and then taking your time. And in my case, like I said, I haven't been doing this that long. I think giving myself more time has allowed me to understand how to like release music better and how to like create that content and um, find that brand and those visuals and stuff. So it's been fun, but I'm ready for it to be out.
Absolutely. As you should. I mean, it's tough. Being a musician is a lot of sitting on stuff. And it's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard. It's really hard to sit
Oh,
on it and be like, I just want to share. I just want to. Fuck it. Let's just put it up. But you can't do that. Not anymore.
yeah.
Um, so you grew up singing like country legends like Patsy Cline, the Dixie Chicks and stuff like that. How did your musical taste evolve like from that into, the pop, the alternative pop punk powerhouse you are today?
Oh, good question. Yeah, so my first concert ever, I was 6 or 7, was the Dixie Chicks. And
The
um
Chicks.
yeah, the Chicks, I love them so much. Just they were my idols. And like the same with Patsy Cline. I was obsessed with Patsy Cline. I was obsessed with George Strait as a child, and Garth Brooks,
I
and
love
like
Garth Brooks.
Leanne Rimes and Trisha Yearwood and
Hmm.
Martina McBride. Like I
90s country
is the only
is
country,
is country. Yeah.
hands down the only country. I don't even know what is in country today, but I know it's not good.
I don't know.
But
If I'm not going down, way down yonder on the Chattahoochee, I don't want to go.
I agree. I agree. So yeah, and I grew up on that. I did not grow up on like classic rock or anything. My parents just didn't listen to that. It was like country and like Stevie Ray Vaughan and um what else? I don't know, just like kind of in that wheelhouse. And it was in, I think, 6th grade. I so I also at this time through elementary school and stuff, I listened to like alternative radio. So it was either country radio or Tampa Bay's alternative radio. And so that was like Green Day, Blink-182, Sublime, um, Breaking Benjamin, like just your classic alternative radio of that time.
Right.
And by the time I got to 6th grade, I was like really into that, and I discovered Taking Back Sunday. And I also discovered Hot Topic. And so like this whole kind of like world, which I think at that time, this was, I don't know what year, but we were all discovering this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and it was becoming popular. And I got really into Taking Back Sunday, and I was, oh, and really into Green Day's American Idiot. I think that came out when I was in 7th grade. I was like calling the radio station every day to try to win tickets to the American Idiot tour. Um, I was so obsessed with it. I had to go to Hot Topic and buy the t-shirt and buy the CD and listen to it in the car every day. And then, oh man, I can't remember if it was like right before, or right after, but whenever Three Cheers by My Chemical Romance came out,
Hmm.
that was like life-changing to me. I loved that CD more than life, and I developed a massive crush on Gerard Way. Like I was just, oh my God. Oh, and this random, but at the time I remember like Bam Margera was really popular and like Jackass and like MTV.
Yeah.
And it was just
Viva
such
La
a,
Bam.
yeah, Viva La Bam, exactly. It was such a fun time to get into MTV and Hot Topic and
Hmm.
music and like my CD player that I could walk around the neighborhood with and listen to My Chemical Romance. Um, and like luckily my mom also really liked the My Chemical Romance CD, so like there was no issue with just having it playing in the car 24/7. And at this young age, I think it was in 7th grade, if not 6th grade, I was like, I loved the like performative theatrical costumery of My Chemical Romance. At that time, Panic at the Disco had also released their first album. I was super into that, trying to LimeWire that shit onto my little iPod thing. Um, so I was like very into this more like theatrical, the pop punk. I loved Adam Lazzara because to me he's also very theatrical, just in his like
Hmm.
own normal state. Like I loved listening to them, just the screaming. Oh my God, it was amazing. And with the My Chemical Romance CD, I like had this first revelation of how cool an album can be, because while all the songs are very My Chemical Romance and they're all very them, each one of them is so different and like takes you on its own journey. And I love that album so much. It's one of my absolute favorites to this day. Um, but that's like when I developed this love of pop punk music, and that kind of never left. And I got into everything, I don't know, back in that time, like All American Rejects and
Yeah.
Fall Out Boy and like the Starting Line and just it, I don't know, started building and building. But I kind of didn't really like make it, I don't know, like a personality or anything. It's just like the music that I really, really liked. And at the
Yeah.
time, I was also, I got into high school, so I still love that music. I started like listening to a lot more of like Sublime and kind of that genre of music. Um, and was super into like Iration and Slightly Stupid and a band called Ballyhoo. And like I was
Yeah.
obsessed with a band called Pepper, one of my favorite bands of all time. Like I was just like so into like skate rock.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, that's just like what I got into. But then it came time for college, and I really wanted to work in music. I wasn't a musician. I didn't like consider myself a musician. I had, um, I guess I would say like to backtrack on the other half of this like pop punk side that was just developing that I loved. I was a massive Taylor Swift fan, like from day one.
I mean,
I
who isn't? Who should? Everyone should
Exactly. The
be.
people who aren't are liars, like
All right.
100%.
I
Um,
I would definitely consider myself a Taylord. Um,
hmm,
not a
yeah,
Swiftie. I'm a Taylord.
no, I like that. I don't know if I've heard that. I like that.
Mm.
I like that. I want to be a Taylor.
You go for
Um,
it. We're Taylords together.
yeah, hell yeah. Um, but so like in I think when I was 13, I had just got into high school and I was like teaching myself how to play guitar because of Taylor Swift. And so all of that kind of melded together. But when I was going to college, I did not consider myself a musician. I wasn't good at anything. I only played guitar like in my bedroom when no one was home.
Hmm.
Um, and I wanted to work in music, like in the music industry. And I thought that the country music industry would be the place because honestly, it there's like pop and country when you think of like big industry.
Oh yeah.
Um, at least at that age. And I was like, I'm gonna go to Nashville. I'm gonna get a job at a record label and I'm gonna live like a really cool life. Um, so long story short, I ended up going to Nashville for school, but as soon as I got there, I was like, fuck this. The music industry seems like it sucks and everyone's super negative here. And this was at a time when streaming was like just becoming popular.
Yeah.
Um, like my freshman year of college, Instagram wasn't even a thing yet. We were still like on Facebook. So it was like after MySpace, but when Facebook was popular.
Hmm.
And yeah, everything was just changing and everyone was super negative and everyone was like, everything's fake and fucked up and you're never gonna get a job. And like if you came here to make money and live in music, then just go home. And I was like, oh, fuck this. So I ended up just taking a completely like whoop, 180. I don't want to do that. I wasn't even supposed to be here anyway. Like, I'm not a musician. What was I thinking?
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and just went to business school and
Yeah.
got into like sports. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Because you were a collegiate rower, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
2014 national silver medalist.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It was so random. I would, I don't know. It was, I was trying to figure out my way. I think I was like, I was just always trying to find something to like fill this really, 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 really secret, incredibly locked up void that I had that was like this desire to be a performer of some sorts.
Yeah.
And I just spent 10 years neglecting that desire until one day I don't even know how this happened, but one day I was like, I'm gonna be a musician now, and now here I am. And I was
You
like,
said,
pop music I love. I've never stopped listening to that music. I when I think of music, I think of that. When I like started to write it, that's just like how I felt. And really actually what I started to do was I was super into pop punk music, right? Um, super into Taylor Swift, loved like Phoebe Bridgers, Soccer Mommy, um, kind of these indie female artists. And I was like, there's no girls that are just like going a little bit harder. Like I want to listen to like a little bit harder music, but I don't
mm-hmm.
want to be like super hard, but I don't want it to be like not going hard. So I was just like, I want to make music that's like fun and poppy and lives in that vein that I love, which is like the Taylor, Phoebe, Soccer Mommy, I don't know that world, but like has this other stuff that I just love that I
Hmm.
can't get away from, like drums and guitar riffs. Like nobody's riffing, nobody's like doing this shit right now. So that's kind of just how I started to get into the pop punk phase, I guess, or like how I started to write
Yeah.
the music to begin with.
Well, we got there. Yeah. When I saw that like you went to like, Vanderbilt and then, collegiate rower, I was like, how the fuck did you get here from there?
Well, I'm always like, how did I get there? It's like I feel
Yeah.
like now, like this is like this sounds so cheesy, but this becoming a musician has allowed me to become this version of myself that I knew was there, but I
Yeah.
didn't believe was there. And like, I mean, I guess like I am a competitive person. I always wanted to be good at sports, but like I'm not. I don't even know how I was like successful in rowing.
Well, you
Um,
clearly are. So,
like, yeah, I just that was a weird one, but um, like I was always just trying to force other things to happen, and I don't know, when I was 28, almost 29, when I decided to go do a open mic, and there's just something that clicked, and I was like, oh, okay.
it's hard.
Just sit down.
A lot of people feel like they have to follow a certain norm, and I feel like it's gotten a lot more open, like, within the past, like, even just 20 years, I mean, you see people with tattoo sleeves and shit like that. That's just normal parents now. Um,
Yeah, exactly.
but like following, for the longest time, it's like, well, you're done with high school, you go to college. That's what
Mhm.
you do. If you do anything else, you're fucking weird. Uh,
Yeah.
because
When I was like,
when
oh, go ahead.
I when I didn't go to college and I was like just went on tour with my band, like that didn't sit well with my family at first. I was fucking weird, and it was like you're not going to do anything. Like, what are you doing? You need something to fall back on. And it's like, well, you do need something to fall back on. That's not untrue, but not following your dreams and or at least trying isn't
Oh,
it's
so true.
you need to you need to try. If it's something you want to do, then do it. Do your
Yeah.
best.
And it's so hard. It definitely is scary. And I mean, I spent all of my life like wanting to do this thing, right? And I didn't let myself. And I totally feel for people who experience that because I think that we all do. And it's really, really hard to break out of that.
Yeah.
Um, and I think so I was like obsessed with going to college. I don't know why. I don't even come from a family of people who went to college or who expected me to go to college or had like standards or literally anything. I was like creating these weird constructs from like a very young age. Um, like when I was in second grade, I one of my mom's best friends had a daughter who was like in college at that time, and I begged for her to just take me there with her so that I could see it. Like I could see this world that older teenagers lived in all together. And like I was like obsessed with this idea of going to school. Um, and I was just like that my whole childhood. And so when I mean, I was like trying to do scholarships from seventh grade, like planning for college and like saving my own money for tuition and stuff. Like I was so obsessed with this idea of having this perfectly laid out construct. Like I graduate, I get perfect grades, I go to a really good college, I get all scholarships, and then I get a really good job. And that was always fighting, or like naturally, I think that that mindset fights the other half of, anyone or me in particular that like wants to go do like crazy things like perform or like learn how to be a musician or whatever. And I think I was always internally battling that for no reason. Like again, like no one was going to judge me no matter what I did, luckily.
Hmm.
Um, but that's just like how it was. And it took me a really long time to get to a place in my life where I felt like I could just really do what I wanted to do. And I think leading up to that, all those years, I had created other things that I wanted to do, which, weren't in music, but like I went to business school and I worked in startups and I really wanted to be like a super badass female tech CEO. And so I started companies before this and worked at startups and fundraised money and like all this stuff. And it, it was these things I thought that I wanted, but I never felt very fulfilled. And they were always like more stressful and just like, I don't know, wasn't into like the people in those environments and something just always felt off. I don't know how else to explain it, but I wasn't excited about the outlook. I wasn't excited about the future. Um, and there was something about like going to an open mic, literally like an open mic at a bar. And I was like, this is better. I'm gonna do this.
That's awesome. All right. Well, we talked about a lot about like motivating and like and following your dreams. So like on that note, so we got one more question before we go to our quick break here. So if you could give our listeners a piece of advice that you know now, that you wish
Mhm.
you knew when you were like first starting out this musical journey, what would
Mhm.
that be?
Your life does not end at 25. Or I guess when I was starting out the musical journey, I was already older than 25. But one thing that I believed for so long was that I had to know exactly what I was doing and have like my end all be all figured out by the time I was 25. And that puts like a lot of pressure on you, whether when you put any sort of like limit on yourself, whether it's age or
Mm-hmm.
something else. Um, if you're using it, sometimes I think you can get like behind this idea of like setting these deadlines because you're like, I'm setting a deadline for myself, so it's going to motivate me.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think that I find them to be demotivating and more stressful. And so I think setting deadlines for yourself in your life and your age is just like a no-go. You just kind
Yeah.
of kind of got to live and kind of forget about that and like let the constructs come down that you create. Um, whether that's like trying to accomplish something by the time that you're 30. Who the fuck cares if you do it when you're 31? You know what I mean? Like, who
Right.
cares? Like, it actually doesn't matter. And I spent so much of my life thinking that that mattered.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't, it literally doesn't at all.
Mm-hmm. Same.
No one cares. No one cares.
I put a lot of timelines on myself throughout my life, and I really wish I hadn't. Like, because as you grow, you learn, and you learn more. I think the smartest thing you can do for yourself, instead of being like, well, this time it has to be this time. Instead of doing
Right.
that, you just gotta, we talk about this a lot on the show, but like setting micro and macro goals for yourself. Like, this is my big goal, my macro goal I want to hit.
Yeah.
Well, micro goals on the way. How do I, like, these are the smaller goals on the way to this big goal. How do I get there? Okay, well, we'll start with this small goal here. And setting small goals for yourself on the way.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
you,
And like just like something as simple as writing them in like a Google Doc, like
yeah.
actually outlining things. I think it feels very school or work
Hmm.
to put your things down in a document. It feels very intimidating, but um, I feel like I've just been able to like physically do things because they were like written down, like what you're saying. Like there was like a
Yeah.
path to get there.
Yeah.
And it sometimes kind of sucks having to write that, or you feel like, oh God, like if I'm writing this down, I have to commit to it.
You don't
No,
have to,
I don't
because you
know.
could
Exactly.
stop
Yeah.
if you don't like it, or if you veer from that path,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you start a new goal, and you start a new line. And there's nothing better than like than just getting to like erase that that goal off of your list, though, scratching it off or deleting it from your notes because
Yeah.
you've finished it. Oh, there's nothing sexier.
So true. So true.
Was seeing that line through it. Whew.
Oh, I feel that so hard. Yeah. Sometimes I write things down retroactively just so I can cross it off.
Oh, yeah, same. But I will write like my daily goals and stuff, like the most mundane basic shit sometimes. Like
Hmm.
even I have on my list for today that I get to cross off is interview at 2 p.m.
Exactly. It's such a good feeling. So it's
Yeah,
like little things that got to keep us going.
it's true. All right. And with that, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with our next segment. Thank you so much again to Open Your Ears Records for partnering with us to help bring even more new artists to your attention. Now, again, Open Your Ears Records is an amazing independent record label out of Richmond, Virginia, with a killer lineup of up and coming bands and artists. We talk about this every week now. This week is a big one, though. Another One Down just released their highly anticipated EP, Face Reality, on Friday, May 2nd, featuring the singles Pressure and Sinners and Saints. Off of Open Your Ears Records, Face Reality brings you high emotion and fast paced intensity from start to finish, so make sure to stream the hell out of it and get out to a show if you're in the area. Make sure to also follow them and Open Your Ears Records on their socials at Another One Down RI and OYE Rex. You're going to want to follow them so you can keep up with them and everything that they've got going on. You can also once again check out our interview with Another One Down back on episode 104 or season 3, episode 35. Thank you so much again to Open Your Ears Records for partnering with us and for sponsoring this episode. And we're back. Thanks so much for sticking around. It's time for everybody's favorite segment, food for thought segment. Gonna get yourself real hungry here. Um, I came up with some pretty fun questions for this here. Um, I might even ask one if I remember from an interview I just did because I thought it was so funny. Uh, Actually, I'm gonna start with it because I really liked it. I thought it was really funny. Okay,
Oh
if
boy.
if you had to, I'm just gonna try and remember it off the top of my head though. Uh, if you could have any, I would probably snack, right? Any any snack rain from like the sky during your concert, like rain from the ceiling onto the crowd during like your finale or something. What snack would you have fall on people? And how would you want them to like react to this?
Um, I do not know why this is the first place that my mind went, but you know those you know you know those Cadbury mini eggs?
Yeah. Oh man. So you're just gonna
Those are,
pelt your crowd with
well,
Cadbury
I
mini
know. I
eggs?
don't know why I thought of that, but those are like so good.
No,
Um,
that is crazy good like chocolate though.
So good. And you know what sucks? Oh my God, I'm the worst person, just a warning. I'm the worst, literally the worst person to talk to about food because I have like a bunch of food allergies. I don't eat shit. But but like I'm like allergic to milk
Okay.
and so I can't even eat these eggs, but I had them when I was a kid before I knew
Mm.
this, right?
Hmm.
And I yearn for those. Like those are so good. If there's like a thing that I could eat, like now I don't care about not eating milk. It's whatever. I could find shit. Um, but like those, there's no replacement for those Cadbury mini eggs. Like I could
No.
still remember what they taste like. And so I would just give the audience the gift of those.
All right, you just gotta let them know and be like, all right, you're gonna get hit in the head, but it's gonna be worth it. Just like
Yeah.
get your
Just open
hands
up.
up. Oh no, but that'll bust some teeth. So I'd say
True.
cup your hands, catch them. Don't try and catch them with your
That'd be
mouth.
a wild scenario.
Yeah. Uh, the the artist. So this was when I interviewed Five Ever,
Mm.
and they said, what was it? Um, it was gosh, the freeze dried Skittles. That's what they said.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh yeah, freeze dried Skittles. They're pretty good. But
Interesting.
you know, it's light. It's not gonna hurt anybody.
Yeah, yeah.
At first he said like Pop Tarts, and I'm like, that's just gonna poke somebody's eye out right there.
Oh, they're just gonna crumble as soon as they fall. They're just
Just
gonna,
psh.
yeah, just bleh.
It'd be so funny though. I like it. But Cadbury eggs, I support this. Mini Cadbury eggs. Good choice. Uh okay. So I guess think of however, so it doesn't have to be, this question doesn't have to be food you eat, right? It just has to be whatever you feel
Got it.
fits. All right. If you had to describe the vibe of your music using a three-course meal, appetizer, main event, and dessert, what dishes would be the menu?
Oh, that's a hard question. Oh my
This
God, wait.
this shit gets this is a tough segment.
Oh my God, this is yeah. Um, oh God, I'm blanking. What is food? What is food?
What is
What is
food?
food? What do people eat for appetizers? What do normal people eat for appetizers?
I
Uh,
mean, think of I when I think of appetizers, I'm I'm such a dirt bag. I feel like I think of I think of like Applebee's, you know.
no,
What
that's
do I
immediately where my mind went
yeah.
too. I was
What do I
like,
get for
there's
half
like
off
boneless
apps?
buffalo wings with
Some mozzie
celery.
sticks.
But you know what's funny? Okay, just a side note, I've been watching literally nothing but Top Chef for weeks.
I
I
love
just discovered Top Chef.
I love Top Chef.
Oh, such a good show. So now all of my mind is just going to like Top Chef things,
Okay.
like very fancy. Like I don't know, I've seen like a lot of like beef tartare and foie gras, both of which I've never had in
Yeah.
my life, but I've just seen it on TV so much for the past like month of watching Top Chef. But I'm not gonna pick that because that seems kind of lame and stuffy. Um, I'm gonna pick. Okay, so we need an appetizer, a main course, and a dessert.
Yeah.
Um, for the ugh, everything that I eat's so boring, so I have to pick something else. Um, I'm gonna pick, okay, well, my music, I like to be a crowd pleaser, right? I like it to be poppy and upbeat, and we
Yeah.
like to please the crowd. And I feel like mozzarella sticks are a crowd pleaser.
Dude, mozzie sticks are gas. I
Okay,
like.
yeah, you smiled really hard with that one.
Yeah.
So okay, so we're good there. We're good there. We got free mozzarella sticks for everyone. Everyone's happy.
Mm.
Everyone's greasy. Okay, so that's good.
Hmm.
For the main course, we're gonna go with like what else pleases a crowd?
For the main dish, I mean,
Dish.
I
Oh, people really like Chipotle.
yeah, I was gonna say you can't go wrong with pizza, burgers, and tacos. Any of those stuff are like that's America's food right there. Even
That
though,
is
you know,
America's food, yeah.
none of it is American except for I guess a burger. But
True. Okay, we're gonna do burgers, but there's gonna be like a burger bar, and you can also
oh
like
yeah,
what type of patty that you want and like what type of bun. Cause yeah, I'm real picky. I need everyone to be pleased. So like if you want like the original shit and you want all the stuff on your burger, you got it. But
you want
if
that fucking Wagyu beef? We got you.
yeah, if you need a gluten-free bun, we got you there too. We're here for everyone. We're here for everybody. Everybody's welcome. And then for dessert, I'm gonna say like a hot brownie with like ice cream on the top of it and like a sauce with also some fruit, like some raspberry
Okay.
coulis, they would say on Top Chef, some raspberry coulis.
Oh,
So
that's
something that's
fancy.
like cold and melty and like warm and rich at the same
So
time.
here's the thing, and I agree with this because so like doing it that way, your dessert is a bit more, you know, it's a little more fancy. You know, your burger because you're just like the just like you and your music. It's for the every person, you know. Everybody can love and enjoy this. Um, and pop punk's a little greasy, so you got your greasy mozzie sticks there,
Yeah,
but you also a little bougie, and
exactly.
you're
Exactly.
fancy. You're a little
Yeah. And there's
fancy.
probably like a tiny little like mint sprig garnish on the top of that sundae. Like
Look at that.
it's
A little
plated
mint.
very well. When I'm imagining
Yeah.
it's plated on one of those really nice white plates
Yeah,
that
they
kind of
got the
with the
spoon and they
thumbs
do the
up.
little spread.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking. Yeah. So you leave feeling very
Yeah.
bougie.
Yeah. You're a little bougie.
Little bougie
I love it.
and full after all
Yeah.
that.
It sounds perfect. I would eat all of this. I'm in. You
Perfect.
sign me up for Burger Bar, okay?
Perfect. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'll have to do that.
All day, every day. I'm in for this meal.
Love it. Oh man, burger bar. Yeah, I'm gonna have to work that into something.
Okay. Just invite me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just show
Hmm.
up, man. All right. If you're on tour and if every band had to bring a dish to a potluck, what's your contribution going to be?
Hmm. My contribution is going to be, you know what? Probably I'm gonna bring three things to
Okay.
cover my own ass to make
Good.
sure that I can eat. Because again, I'm picky, but out of necessity, not out of, or yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Hmm.
But I'm gonna bring grilled chicken because I love grilled chicken. Who doesn't
Hmm.
like grilled chicken? Like if you're going to like a barbecue or something, grilled chicken all the way.
Hmm.
Simple, easy, can eat it all day long. A kale salad. That sounds bougie, but you know what? It's good,
I
especially when
mean,
you're not having
that's a little
one.
bougie. It's a little
Kale
bougie.
salad's really good. Like it'll be one of those things where people are like, "Oh, I'll take a little bit of it," and then they take a little bit of it and they go back for more, right?
Sure.
That's what I'm trying to achieve there. But then I'm also gonna bring a dessert, and it's probably gonna be chocolate chip cookies that I made because I make really good chocolate chip cookies. But like, there's nothing worse than like going somewhere and not being able to eat any of the desserts, but you really want something sweet because like everyone
Hmm.
else is getting a sweet treat but you. So I gotta bring my own. So I'm
We
bringing like a bunch of cookies.
Hannah needs to be able to have her own sweet treat.
Yeah, exactly. And it's got to be like in my control. I got to know what's in it. So I'm gonna provide some like really good chocolate chip cookies.
That's good. And you can't go wrong with a good old chocolate chip cookie.
Oh no, especially for potluck, they can sit there,
Hmm.
people can pick them up. They're a
Hmm.
crowd pleaser again. You can
Hmm.
have two, you can have three. By the time you know you've had five, like whatever.
Yeah. Um, a question for you. Okay. Now, this is all honesty. Kale. We're going to go back to kale for a second here.
Sure, all day. I will
I'll,
go back to kale all day.
okay. It, am I weird or does kale just taste exactly like broccoli? I
You're
think
weird.
it tastes exactly like broccoli.
I think you're weird. Yeah.
You think I'm wrong? I'm like, that's just a me thing?
Broccoli, I could see like something else, but broccoli, I don't get broccoli from kale, I don't think.
Really?
Maybe
Okay.
a little more like, what does it taste like? I don't know. It tastes so kale-y.
Well, when I typed, it's okay. So when I typed in, I'm
Internet
like,
agree with you?
I went, no. When I said, what does kale taste like broccoli? And the AI overview said, no, you dumb bitch. Kale ta does not taste, it doesn't say that part, but it says, no, kale does not taste exactly like broccoli. And I didn't type in exactly. I just said, does kale taste like broccoli? So
Oh,
maybe
AI is judging you.
calm
AI is
yourself,
judging
AI.
you. It's like, I need you to know that I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. However, a website called A Gardener's Table says better than broccoli, kale buds. So,
Oh, that's a new one. I haven't heard of that.
so kale is much less like lettuce than like broccoli. So I'm not just weird. There's a few of us.
There's something there, yeah, for
There's something
sure.
there. There's something there.
There's
And
something, yeah.
now I don't mind, like, I like broccoli just fine. So I'm not saying it's like ick. Kale's gross. It's just broccoli. I don't mind kale either.
Yeah.
But one thing I would say I'm weird for. I I like broccoli, I like cauliflower, I like vegetables. However, I can only eat them raw. I cannot do steamed. I think it's horrific. I can't
Wait,
do
not
it.
even okay. Steamed gets iffy, like if I'm being honest, but like roasted in the oven?
I've never attempted it, but I only ever like it.
What?
I like it raw.
Okay,
I,
well, I will say this. Watery broccoli and watery cauliflower is
oh,
it's gross. I mean, like I'll eat it, but
icky.
that's not the preferred method. But if you
Mm-mm.
put that shit in the oven, mm,
I like, roasted asparagus. I think I mean, you can't eat that raw.
no.
That's not okay.
Asparagus is delicious.
Yeah. You gotta have, some butter. Get some
Mhm.
butter and some seasonings on it. Mm.
So
Grill
good.
it. Mm.
Grilled vegetables is the ultimate
I like
peak
it.
vegetables.
Speaking of vegetables, this isn't a vegetable, so I don't know why I led with that. But if Hannah Duckworth was a potato, what kind of potato would you be?
Oh, well, great question. Because there's
Hmm.
actually a potato that's named a Hannah potato. I don't know if you
Oh,
know that.
I
It's
didn't know that.
they're Hannah sweet potatoes. They
Okay.
are the white sweet potatoes. And they're pretty tasty. So they're like, have you had a white sweet potato? Instead of orange, it's white, but it's not a regular potato. I
I
don't know.
don't
It
think
has
I've
like
seen it.
the texture of a sweet potato,
Hmm.
and but it's just not orange. But they're called Hannah sweet potatoes. So I'd be inclined to say that one. And I really think that's the only appropriate answer, actually. Yeah.
Okay. So would you say you like just the potato, or would you how would you prepare yourself as a sweet potato?
Oh, roasted in the oven for sure.
Roasted and sweet.
Like chopped up and roasted. A simple, elegant, delicious.
I love it. I support it. I mean, you can't sweet potatoes anyway, except once again, you can't do that one raw. Uh,
Oh,
you can't go wrong with a sweet potato in any fashion, I don't think.
I know this is like so lame. Of course, there's always going to be someone who says this and be like, oh my God, no, wait. But I'm going to be that person right now, like, oh my
Okay.
God, no, wait. With the marshmallows,
Oh
the sweet
boy.
potatoes with the marshmallows. I've never,
Mm,
never been on board with that.
I love it so
Even
much.
from childhood, just not,
I
not,
didn't
I
like
grew up in a very Southern family. So that was dished out, a lot, all the
I,
holidays. No.
I didn't like it until I was an adult, actually. I didn't like it when I was a kid, but I was a picky eater when I was I'm still a picky eater, but not the same as when I was a kid.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. I'm glad
Yeah.
that you grew out of that.
Yeah, I grew up a little bit. Not a
Yeah.
lot, but a little bit. All right. That is the end of our food for thought segment. Now it's time for rapid fire questions.
Friendships will be tested. Rapid fire questions.
You're just
Pew,
gonna
pew, 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 pew.
you're just gonna speak from the heart, just gonna shoot from the hip. Whatever whatever the first thing is that pops into your head, even if it's not one of the two options I present to you, you
Okay.
just speak your truth.
Got it. Oh God.
You got
Speak
this.
scary.
You got this. It's not math equations. I promise. You Very simple for the most part. I hope some of these make you hurt a little on the inside to have to choose between them, but that's about it.
Okay.
All right. Liquid Death or LaCroix?
Liquid death all the way.
I agree.
Branding is
Spotify.
branding is everything.
Oh, dude, their branding is killer.
It's so good. Yeah.
I don't know if you knew this, but they made a horror movie called
Yeah.
Dead Till Death, and I own it and I own the poster for it because I I like paid to like do their premiere, to
Yeah,
watch the premiere of the movie. And so I got like a poster and all. It's in my living room.
amazing.
It's awesome. Uh, Spotify or Apple Music? And we know this
Spotify.
one.
Yeah,
South Park or Family Guy?
Family Guy.
All right. This one, I don't think this one's gonna even be hard. I really don't.
Okay.
MySpace or TikTok?
Hard.
It is hard. It's a little hard.
Yeah, you know why?
I
Okay,
won.
well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say MySpace because at the end of the day, it's not hard. But
Hmm.
I've had this kind of revelation about TikTok to where I've started to appreciate it more
Yeah.
and like use it as a search engine, which is actually very helpful,
Hmm.
which is what they want us to do. And I'm falling into that trap. But I actually find so many answers to things that I'm looking for on TikTok and that like video evidence and people talking about it, which is actually super cool.
Yeah.
But one thing I've noticed recently, at least from my limited or like my own perspective, is that people on TikTok are like not haters. Like people don't want to hate on TikTok.
Hmm.
Like people
Not
like,
nearly as bad.
right. People want to be like funny in the comments. They want that like comment to like get a lot of likes, like be at the top. They want to have like
Hmm.
the viral comment. And so it creates this kind of like comedy that to me was very Twitter, like how
Hmm.
people's the attitude and sarcasm of people's tweets are now just in TikTok comments. And I'm
Yeah.
starting to just enjoy that. I think it's funny. Um, but I just feel like it's like in like people want to support people in like a good way on TikTok. And people are just to my viewpoint hating less. Like even on just content that I watch and I look at comments, it's like people just want to be funny and like in a conversation. Like they're not like hating. Whereas like on Instagram, like it's just like all fucking hate.
Oh,
Like,
I don't run into that on Instagram, but Facebook
oh,
is a nightmare. Like Facebook
oh, I
is
don't
all
even
the
like
mean old
do
people.
yeah, I don't even do Facebook at all anymore. But I feel like just the propensity of hate is higher on Instagram and TikTok. I'm all of the sudden this week, I'm like, wow, it's such a nice place out here. But if we could have MySpace back, that would be legit. I was super
Yeah.
into that, making the
MySpace
backgrounds and shit.
MySpace was by far the best. There's never been a better social media. I think
No,
Tik I do
there's
think
so
that
many things you could do with it.
I think TikTok is the most competitive, honestly, in popularity though,
Hmm.
because Facebook, sure, Facebook was very popular, but it never offered anything similar or remotely similar to the atmosphere and like popularity of MySpace. Instagram didn't at all either.
Yeah.
Uh, Twitter never did, but TikTok has that same virability that MySpace did. You know, it has that dead like dead set like cult following, like this is your jam, this is what I spend my time on.
Yeah.
And that's what also, was MySpace, except MySpace was more positive of a social media than anything has ever been since.
And it was before we got fucked up by social media.
Yeah.
Like it was before we even it was before our brains changed.
Hmm.
For
Totally.
real. Yeah.
Because,
That's
yeah, we also
crazy.
had that fucked up, like, top eight, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's like your top, who am I? I better be in your top four, right?
Yeah.
But, like, still, that kind of, like, fuck you ness of MySpace is still not as, like, mean as every
No.
other social media.
Yeah. MySpace feels very punk rock.
Yeah,
Like has that edge and that like a little bit of confrontationalness, but in like a good-hearted, rooted in like a good-hearted for the better intentional
right.
way.
And I feel like what most people would do was their top eight would either just be like, their best friend or best friends, and then just like bands or other things that they loved and followed because they didn't want to be assholes.
Yeah.
or your girlfriend or boyfriend or partner, you know what I mean? Just like at whatever, you had a couple people up there so that they weren't like competing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
good
was a good
time.
time. Good time. Okay, speaking of good times, here's another throwback for you. Drive-through records or fueled by ramen?
Fueled by ramen.
That's fair. Fall Out Boy, you know?
Hmm. Paramore, I think, back in the day.
I think so. I don't remember, to be quite honest. I was a drive-through records person.
Nice.
That was my favorite. I still have like the DVDs today, still in my house.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything to play them on?
Yeah, an Xbox and a
Oh,
DVD
right, right.
player.
And okay, the DVD player. There we go. Nice.
I do have a DVD player.
Nice. Is it
Uh, w-
Blu-ray?
well, it's a Blu-ray. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a Blu-ray player. Dead tech.
Yeah.
Uh, beanies or snapbacks?
Beanies. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Darth Vader or Voldemort?
Ooh. Voldemort.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, can't get every question right. Uh,
Oh,
uh, it's I like it both. Um,
yeah. I
yeah.
really, so I only have seen, I think it was during COVID times, I watched Star Wars all for the first time.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
Whereas like I've been watching Harry Potter, since it came out, and I love Harry Potter movies. I think they're great. But I really loved the first oh shit. I think it was the first three Star Wars.
Like the
Yeah,
original movies or like
it
the
wasn't,
the
oh no, like
prequels?
number one, two, and three. Like the Harrison Ford ones are great, but it was specifically the one where Anakin like becomes Darth Vader. Is
Yeah,
that
that
the
I,
movie?
that's three, and that's the
I
one
like that
that like
one.
that's the one that most people can agree is a good one of the prequels.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're pretty rough
That's the one that
movies.
I like that like sticks with me. So that's where like my affinity for Darth Vader is.
Sure,
But overall as a series, I like Voldemort,
that's fair.
even though he fucking sucks.
Yeah, he's a big poopy head.
Yeah.
All right, this is the last one. Hopefully,
Okay.
this one is hard, but we'll see.
Okay.
Probably not. They all seem to be really easy. They're not tearing apart your soul.
Not
Uh,
yet.
Not yet. All right. Good Charlotte or Simple Plan?
Ooh, good Charlotte.
I
Yeah.
was a, I was a good Charlotte person
Yeah.
myself.
Still am. I just watched a live performance of them like on YouTube or something. They performed somewhere super recently, like a TV show or something.
Okay.
And I was just watching it. And I was like, damn, these guys are still doing it.
Yeah, they are. They are.
What was that
Like,
on? Maybe it was like, maybe they had them on like The Voice or something. I don't know. And it was like, maybe I saw it on social media and again, that whole like journey from social media to YouTube. But it was super recent. It was like a couple days ago.
like, um, hold on. It's going to have been a few years since it came out, but there's a really like underrated album that they released that was really fucking good. And the hell is all this stuff? This is weird. Okay, yeah, in 2018. So it's been a time since their
Okay.
last album came out. Um, but it's called Generation like RX, so like prescription, and it's really, really good.
Okay, I'm gonna need to listen to that one.
You should. Yeah, it's like
2018.
I feel like it gets like just kind of like not lost apparently like all the like the smallest song on here is like over 1 million streams, so clearly it was listened to, but I don't hardly know anyone that knows about it.
Yeah, I haven't listened to it, so I'll have to listen to it. That sounds fun. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, do it. It's good. Check it out.
Nice.
But yeah, that's it. You did it. You finished the podcast. Now all that's left, you give
Yay.
a nice little recap, let everybody know what you got going on, where they can find you, what's next.
Sure. Yeah. So, in case you've already forgot, I'm Hannah Duckworth. So yeah, I'm Hannah Duckworth. You can find me on Spotify at Hannah Duckworth, on Instagram at Hannah_Duckworth, and on TikTok, I think just at Hannah Duckworth, no underscore. You can stay up to date with what I'm doing, what shows I'm playing on listentohannah.com. My next show, um, I guess my next show is probably while this will be being edited, but it's this Saturday at the House of Blues Anaheim. I'm playing the Emo Night Brooklyn's 10th anniversary party, which should be fun. And then
Cool.
after that, I'm opening for Sublime in Seattle in September, which is going to
Woo!
be really wild, like a dream come true. Sublime and the Ataris. So just, yeah, real
That's
fun.
awesome.
That's what I got going on. Shortly after that, I'm going to release an EP. And if you want to hear my latest song, Knockout, it's on Spotify. And the music video, as Patrick said, it kicks ass, and that's on YouTube.
Absolutely. Make sure if you haven't already been listening to Hannah, which you probably all have, but if you haven't, go do it right now. Once this
Right
ends,
now.
right now, just
Right
leave.
now.
You know
Right
what?
now. You're already
Right.
in the platform.
Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. You can leave here. Just go. Go do it right now.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, Hannah. This was super fun.
Thanks for
Uh,
having me. Thanks for the long chat.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure. Everybody, we'll see you all on Monday. This has been another episode of the Unsigned Pop Punk Podcast. See you later, friends.
Bye.
Thank you so much for checking out the show. Please hit that like, subscribe, or follow button so you never miss an episode. And thank you to those who already are. Please rate and review the show to help the show be found by new people. And if you're in the position to help us grow, head on over to our website where you can find merch, our Patreon, and other ways that you can help at www.unsignedpoppunk.com. Let us know in the comments who else you'd like to see on the show and what other content you would like to see. Thank you so much for spending your time with us.